Hello guys! I hosted another official Jurassic Blocky tournament, and I'm incredibly excited to share with you guys everything that happened in this amazing tournament. So many things went down, and I have a really good outlet now of what are the best tier 1 dinosaurs to use. Special thanks to Dabbing Monkey who showed up for the beginning of the stream. Without further ado, let's get right into this action-packed tournament. Our first two players up to bat were King Throw and Fox Neen. Without hesitation, that first heavy was thrown, and I'm pretty sure that was by Fox. Not long after, King Throw used his heavy and landed it. This was a huge win for King Throw, who had previously been down on Fox. Then these two kind of maintained a middle ground space for a couple minutes. After landing his last heavy, King Throw got a little excited and attempted to use a heavy and absolutely airballed. This allowed Fox to charge in and take a ton of damage out of King Throw, and he was able to land a crucial heavy that won him the game.
And there it is. Unfortunately, a round 1 loss for King Throw. And again, my boy Fox advances to the second round.
Our next two combatants were You're Just Bad LOL and Ferales. Ferales was the first Raptor user we had seen all tournament, and since he was in the first round, we expected him to get absolutely clapped. As you can see, his initial strategy was to gain distance, then close it by his speed. But Mutadon was just so powerful that anytime he got close, Mutadon would land a hit. Although Mutadon was struggling, as you can see there, the heavy was a miss because Ferales was able to get out of the way so fast. Ferales was here opting to circle around the Mutadon, trying to find space in which he can attack, but the Mutadon was not having it, just kind of staying where he was. After a long time of a big gap between Ferales and the Mutadon, this was the changing point where he leaped in, and now the Mutadon could get a bunch of damage off because this dam just ran out for the Velociraptor. And then Mr. Muta finished off the job.
I don't think it's going to be enough for Raptor. Yeah, I think Ferales just can't do anything unless he's like incredibly skilled, because Mutadon's just better than Velociraptor. So congratulations.
After that, it was longtime viewer Kiwi versus King Judah. This was our first instance of Pachy, and Pachy itself made it really far into the tournament. What you'll see throughout this tournament is that Pachy not once hit its heavy, and someone told me that was because of a bug. The thing is, however, is that Pachys were actually winning on multiple instances. It's just Mutadon's heavy that would push it over the edge. Both of them kept an incredible distance between them at the start of this battle, and they were obviously scared to engage because both of them had really high DPS. As you can see there though, the veil eventually broke and the both of them attacked each other full head on. Now Kiwi with a little bit of a lead can push the tempo. The Mutadon throws its first heavy and Kiwi was able to dodge. An absolute heavy whiff from the both of them creates equal opportunity, and now Kiwi has a chance to reclaim. Kiwi did a superb job with Pachy, just dodging and hitting huge hits against his Mutadon, but unfortunately the Mutadon was able to land a heavy and that changed the tide of the game. However, even with that deficit, Kiwi came back to win this game.
Be careful. This could end either way. There it is. Let's go. Kiwi, amazing job.
Our next two combatants were RCJ versus JRN. When I tell you this was a good game, this was a good game, and not because it was close.
Oh, he got the jump. That's what Vigilance does, chat. If you're able to get the jump, it's going to be way better for you. And now JRN's already on the back foot. Look at this. This is RCJ. Very quick to attack. I think he's figuring out the strengths of Velociraptor, and that's going to be his speed. Look at how fast this is. JRN. He's got to escape. He's fighting, though. This is a respectable battle for JRN. But unfortunately, RCJ with a belt. Wow.
That was crazy.
Look at you, dude. Hey, and he's nice. Hey, congratulations, dude.
Now we get to take a look at our fourth dino of this tournament, which is Styracosaurus. Before Mutadon got its heavy, it might have been one of the best tier 1 dinos. Unfortunately, that heavy is what changed Mutadon's trajectory this season. The game started off normal as usual, but then the Mutadon hits this heavy, and that completely switches things around. Like I said, Mutadon's heavy completely changes how it plays. It makes it really strong in tight situations because it makes it a really quick firing heavy. With that, the tide of the battle had shifted and never changed as the Mutadon secures victory against the Styraco. Our next battle was against Baba the Velociraptor and Steve the Styraco. It seemed like Baba had learned from the previous Velociraptors because instead of charging head-on, it decided to take a little more laid-back approach. Unfortunately, the Styraco had a good feel for the hitbox, and so it was able to land basically every single hit the Noctinovator was trying to dodge. Baba then tried to scuff a couple hits in, but it just wasn't enough because the Styraco was just dodging all of them. Then Baba hits this elite combo, jump into heavy. Perfect combo there, and that's truly what a Jurassic Blocky combo looks like, and that's really what pushed Baba over the edge. A couple seconds later, and Baba was able to hit a second of the same combo that he just hit. Since Velociraptor is so frail, it's very easy to sell in the situation, but Baba held strong and kept straying away from these Styraco hits and eventually finished the job. Now, I don't want to take away from the battle that happened before this one, because we did end up skipping a battle in this, but that battle was just against a Mutadon and a Styraco, and it was pretty much the same as the other battles. You'd already seen it. Trust me, you'll be seeing that winner later. This one was a funny one, however, because this person was using Dimetrodon on the left behind the chat. You can't see him, but this person was using Dimetrodon. That ended about as you expected.
Good fight. I mean, I think I set the Dimetrodon up for failure by putting up against Pachy.
Here is your top 8. I decided to pit two incredibly strong competitors against each other. I saw that RCJ was incredibly skilled with Velociraptor, and obviously Fox had already won the previous tournament, so I decided to pit them against each other. Early on, there was a lot of moving around. They went to the forest on the right, and they went to the water on the left. There was so much moving. I think RCJ had never faced a Mutadon up to this point, and so therefore, I think RCJ was a little bit scared to engage with the higher DPS dinosaur. While, yes, that is the safer bet, it allows Fox to recollect himself and figure out how RCJ plays, and that's exactly what happened. Here, RCJ finally gets aggressive and overshoots himself and gets ultimated. That really shot him in the foot because now Mutadon has the tools required to kill him. RCJ then expends his heavy, trying to use his signature combo move. That worked for another Raptor, but against the Mutadon, it doesn't seem to be as effective. Gotta give props to Fox, man, because that was an incredible read. Knowing that he comboed in the previous rounds and looking at that, he made the read to get out of the way. I can't help but love how Fox plays. Fox just cooked from there, and there was the kill. I mean, that was about that. I mean, a good heavy from RCJ. We all thought he was going to clutch up at the end. He actually got Fox pretty low, but he got overly ambitious, and Fox was able to pull together the win. Altogether, I think RCJ put up an amazing fight, and pitting them against each other was one of the best things I could have done, because I really wanted to test Fox to see if he could win 2 in a row. Our next fight was Kiwi versus You're Just Bad. Kiwi started off super aggressive, kind of understanding that his DPS was way better. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to parry with his own heavy in time, and so the Mutadon was able to get an early lead. Honestly, even without the heavy, I think Pachy's still better than Mutadon. People just in this tournament did not use it well. I feel like it could have been used as a parrying tool. It got used as a parrying tool maybe once the entire tournament. This was like a sword fight. Like, each of the users' abilities were being on full showcase here, trying to figure out where the weaknesses were. Both of them were sprinting with full stamina, regaining stamina, rebalancing themselves. It was a incredibly high and fast-paced battle. I was overall pretty impressed with how this was going. Unfortunately, neither of them could gain leverage. That all changed, though, when this Mutadon hit that heavy. The Mutadon then went back to hit another heavy. Now Kiwi was struggling a little bit and had a huge deficit to the Mutadon, in which the Mutadon just chased him down and murdered him.
He's retreating. I don't know, Kiwi. I think you're gonna have to hang up the towel.
Down, you can make the rebound, but I don't.
Kiwi, I think you're gonna have to let this one slide, dude. I think that's it. Is he gone? Yeah, that's it, Kiwi.
This double Mutadon battle was grueling, and I had to wait for so long for these two to actually attack each other. It was just a bunch of dodges, misses, and random hits here and there, but eventually King Shimo came out and landed a couple heavy hits along with a couple hits to just put it together and finally scrape over a win, but this one genuinely took forever. To sum up the next battle, basically, Baba did a great job in using Velociraptor, but eventually Pachy's DPS was too much, and Baba just full-on ran away from the battle, and it was a cross-country match from there. I eventually just call it the Pachy's win. We then moved to our final spot for the Final Four. 3 of the last 4 dinosaurs remaining were Mutadons, and one of them was a Pachy. So I decided to see if Pachy could make it to the finals right away. Off the bat, they established some center control between the both of them, and they kind of did a pendulum swing order where both of them just were swinging back and forth. Everything was even until a beautiful read from this Mutadon. I mean, come on now. That's the best read you can make. An instant heavy rebuttal is exactly what you need to be doing, and that set the tempo for the rest of the game. However, with that in mind, the Pachy managed to use that DPS to its, absolute peak and continued to assault this Mutadon. I mean, still, Pachy showing its strength without its heavy, still able to 1v1 a Mutadon with no problem. But alas, soon enough, Mutadon always gets its heavy, and right here it finds its heavy. And that's honestly what made Pachy so much weaker in this Tier 1 tournament. The tempo push was perfect from the Mutadon user here, and that's the best you can possibly do in a tournament like this, is just keep the other player from getting any positioning and taking them out with higher DPS or higher HP. Our next match was quite interesting, and it's another match from Fox Neen, who once again makes it to the semifinals of this tournament. I don't know how he does it. It's insane. The first punch was thrown at Fox Neen, and it landed with a beautiful rebuttal heavy that set the tempo of the game. Fox very much struggled with these heavies. I mean, he could just not dodge them for his life. If there had been a Pachy with heavy in this game, Fox would have had much more trouble. Fox was now down a considerable amount, but Fox had now figured out something that not many other people had figured out. As you can see right there, he heavied. Fox does this thing where he figures out what his opponent's tendencies are, and then he kind of just kills them from there. It's quite interesting. I don't even know if he does it. I don't know if he comprehends that he figures them out. But basically what's been happening is people get the early jump on him. It's happened every single round. And then from there, he just methodically kills them slowly but surely. Fox was on the back foot this whole game, managed to tie it up here and hit this absolutely beautiful read of a heavy into a dodge. I mean, that's the rebuttal heavy, and that's what won him the game. His opponent got scrappy like he was at the beginning, and at the beginning, Fox was being susceptible to scrappiness, and now he figured it out. Now, I don't know. I don't want to give too much credit to Fox here because I think that was a poor move from his opponent that kind of gave him the win. I mean, his opponent literally had the win the whole game and was up the whole game, hit so many great ultimates throughout the game, and Fox was just able to pull it in, and I don't know. It's just a little crazy to me that Fox was able to manage such a thing like this. But again, I mean, it's just about consistency. Fox played the same way the whole game. Now, the finals were a best of 3, and the winner won both games. So I'm just going to put the first one in here just to save some time. There were 2 Mutadon players who played the best all tournament. It was King Shimo and Fox Neen. I mean, both of them did an amazing job of just finding the weaknesses. I mean, both of them had moments where they were not in the best situation, and they just managed to kind of scrape it back together. And I'm incredibly impressed with the both of them. However, with that being said, there was one clear controller throughout this whole series that they had here, and that was Fox Neen. I mean, Fox just did an amazing job of keeping King Shimo away from getting comfortable. And King Shimo had a lot of really, really good hits. I mean, he hit a lot of heavies. And he had oftentimes he was ahead of Fox. This game he was ahead of Fox a couple times. But again, Fox just played consistent. And, it was really hard for Shimo to get just any leverage. As you can see here, look at this beautiful job from Fox of staying in this center and forcing Shimo into an uncomfortable zone. Now, Shimo hits a couple hits here and makes it even, and then now all things are on the table. But look at this. This is great gameplay. Actually, I'm surprised. I did not realize that King Shimo hit this hit. I actually remember this now. But if you didn't know, Fox does win. And as you can see here, Shimo just overplays the amount of health and damage he's doing. And that's kind of just the theme, is that Fox, I think, knows the hits a bit better than everyone else. And so he's able to scrape by with that much more health every game. And barely missed there. I'm watching this live with you guys right now because this was such a close battle. Everyone wanted Shimo to win just because they didn't want to see Fox win again. But you got to admit, it's impressive that Fox made it twice. I mean, he's a 2-time champion of the Zillblade tournaments now. That's pretty insane. Now, he did win the next one too, so let's go ahead and go to analysis. Alrighty, And with that, our tournament is over. We still have a minimum of 2, maximum of 3 more tournaments to go. And I don't know when those are going to be, but what I can say is that Fox Neen has won twice. Now, I don't know how he does it, but let me tell you, it was quite impressive to watch him make like really, really good reads all tournament. Is he beatable? And I don't want to be mean to Fox, but he's 100% beatable. So if you guys are like, how are we supposed to beat a guy who's a 2-time champion? You guys got that. You just need to make the right reads. That's all Jurassic Blocky is about. Making the right reads, knowing the attacks, feeling comfortable with each dinosaur. In fact, I think Pachy was the better dinosaur in this tournament, except its heavy did not work, and people weren't using its heavy as a counter, because I think the good read for Pachy would be, my heavy isn't hitting, so therefore I think my heavy should be used as a counter to their heavy, so that therefore I can get more DPS, because Pachy does have the higher DPS of any tier 1. So I think if Pachy was utilized the way it could have been, I think Mutadon would have been cooked. But Mutadon, with that heavy, has become much better, and its range is really good. You can definitely see that the stat changes they made a huge impact towards Mutadon's overall health in the tier list. So, tier list coming soon. We still got 2 tournaments left to do. If you guys want to join, be ready, because I'm going to be posting, and you got to be very quick. Within 30 minutes, you got to be ready to get in that tournament, because the lobbies fill up soon. Also, quick tidbit to Dabbing. Thank you so much for showing up. I would really appreciate if you showed up again. Obviously, that's not an obligation, but it actually really helped to be able to teleport people. I don't know. It's kind of funny. All right. With that, enjoy my songs I just posted, and have a good day. Zoa Blade out.